The story begins with a simple truth. They blew through $47 million building 19 commercial buildings right on my land, without a single question or permission. I'm Alexander. Behind me stands a fresh grocery store, pharmacy, coffee shops. A brand new strip mall sprawled across my 47 acres in Colorado, the asphalt still hot from the final paving. The woman screaming in the background is Vivian Blackthorne, the HOA president of Ridgemont Estates. 3 months earlier, she had jabbed her finger at me and snarled, "Get off my land, trailer trash, before I call the cops." She had no idea I'd held the deed since 1987, tucked away in my kitchen drawer all those years. I could have stopped the bulldozers on day one, sent her lawyers running, but where's the satisfaction in that? Instead, I smiled, waved, brought the crew cold water, and watched them sink every last dollar over 18 long months. Only then did I step forward, deed in hand, wearing the biggest smirk of my life. You either stop them early or let them bury themselves completely. 2 years ago, I was just Alexander Wellington, a 52-year-old retired electrician from Denver, recently widowed. Cancer took my wife Sarah after a brutal 3-year fight. Chemo, radiation, experimental treatments. We threw everything we had at it and lost anyway. I was broken, and ready to vanish from the world. Then my great-uncle Silas died. I'd met the crazy old hermit exactly twice at family reunions. He owned 47 acres in Pine Ridge Valley, prime land just 20 minutes from Vail ski resorts, values skyrocketing. But Silas lived like a mountain man, paranoid to the core. He filed his deed in some obscure county office back in 1987 and paid taxes religiously for 36 years without developing a single thing. His place, pack rat paradise, was stacked ceiling high with newspapers, coffee cans full of bent nails, and a musty reek of decades-old grounds mixed with motor oil. It took 3 dumpsters to clear it out. The land looked worthless to most. Overgrown fields, fuzzy boundaries, no utilities beyond a well and septic. Perfect for a grieving widower who just wanted to hide and work with his hands. I hauled my mobile home to the northwest corner, set up a woodworking shop in Silas's old barn. The wine of the table saw drowned-out hospital memories. Cedar shavings and sawdust became my therapy. Life turned quiet, almost peaceful. I should have known it wouldn't last. Enter Vivian Blackthorne. One Tuesday morning, her white Tesla Model S purred up my gravel drive. Out stepped a 58-year-old woman dripping pearls and entitlement. Designer suit, perfect hair, attitude that could halt traffic. She was HOA president of Ridgemont Estates, the sprawling luxury development that had mushroomed around my property like expensive fungi. 500 homes averaging $800,000 each, 47-page bylaws, $500 fines for the wrong mailbox font. Vivian brought muscle. 2 security guards in matching polos trailing her like trained seals. I stood on my porch in work boots and flannel, holding coffee that tasted like motor oil. "Morning," I said. She didn't bother with hello. "You're trespassing on HOA common land." Her designer heels clicked across my porch like a judge's gavel. I nearly choked. "Lady, I live here." "Not for long." She flourished a surveyor's report. Fancy graphics, gold seals, probably cost more than my truck. My mobile home supposedly encroached 3 feet onto their property. Trespassing, environmental violation, aesthetic degradation. The audacity. This woman marched onto my inherited land, declared me the intruder, and demanded money I didn't have. "What's this going to cost me?" I asked, playing the defeated old man. $50,000 settlement or immediate eviction. 50 grand, more than I had left in the world. Give me 30 days to figure something out. Her smile could freeze hell. "See, I'm not unreasonable." 1 month. After they left, I walked my lines using Silas's coffee-stained, crayon-drawn map, every measurement precise despite the childlike lines. Her common land included the huge empty lot where orange fencing now enclosed construction crews mobilizing. Signs showed renderings. Ridgemont Commercial Plaza. 19 buildings, grocery anchor, pharmacy, coffee shops, boutiques, fine dining, the full suburban dream. That evening, I pulled Silas's deed from the drawer where I'd shoved it months earlier. Filed properly in 1987. Legal description matching the crayon map exactly. I owned every square foot they planned to develop. Most people would have stormed over waving that deed like a flag, shut everything down day one. But where's the fun? I made fresh coffee, sat on the porch, and watched the sunset over what would become Colorado's most expensive real estate mistake. The next morning, bulldozers rolled in. I waved from the porch like the friendliest neighbor alive. Vivian couldn't leave it alone. Week 3, she returned with an HOA lawyer, county inspector, some environmental bureaucrat. They marched across my land like conquistadors. The inspector squinted at his clipboard, breath reeking of cigarettes and compromise. Multiple septic violations. Behind them, diesel rumbled, concrete mixers beeping, $2 million already sunk into site prep. This is harassment, I told them. Her sweaty lawyer mopped his brow. Mr. Wellington, my client is prepared to be reasonable. $25,000 settles everything. I remember my old mentor's advice. When someone's desperate to close fast, they're hiding something big. I'll pay it, I said, watching Vivian's eyes light up. She thought she was bleeding me dry. In reality, I was buying time while her investment ballooned daily. Need 90 days to liquidate retirement accounts. 60 days, she countered, smelling blood. Deal. Her handshake felt like a sun-baked dead fish. Behind her, excavators dug million-dollar holes for the grocery store foundation. Sarah always said patience was my superpower. Same principle here. Rush the reveal for pocket change. Let them fully commit for retirement-level money. That afternoon, I met the foreman, Javier Rodriguez. He stepped from his trailer, wiping concrete dust off calloused hands. You the neighbor everyone's talking about. Guilty. He handed me an ice-cold Coke. Victory fizzed on my tongue. Sonora Blackthorn says you're moving soon. We'll see. Workers started calling me El Jeef Tronquillo, the quiet boss. Every morning I strolled their site. They waved like I was inspecting the work. Irony made my coffee taste better. By month 2, Vivian launched her media blitz. Local papers ran puff pieces on economic revitalization for 100 jobs coming to Pine Ridge Valley. She posed beside my mobile home like it was a conquered eyesore. Sometimes progress requires difficult decisions about blighted properties. I watched from the porch, mug raised in mock toast. The photographer caught my wave, future evidence of my cooperation. Steel frames rose across all 19 buildings. Electrical vans, plumbing trucks invaded. Every trade meant another unrecoverable million. Vivian planned her victory lap. Grand opening next summer, governor invited, bank paid $500,000 for naming rights. She hosted cocktail parties for tenants while I overheard promises. The mobile home situation will be resolved shortly. Situation, that's what 40 years of ownership became in her vocabulary. I documented every word, permit, photo. Javier saved me the best shots for your scrapbook. He had no idea I was building the biggest property law case in Colorado history. Escalation kept coming. New violations invented weekly. Zoning retrofits, fire hazards in my empty barn, septic threats to groundwater. Each time I played defeated, bought more weeks while millions poured in. Fake EPA guy, bribe inspectors, noise complaints, welfare checks, even calling my trailer abandoned junk. One night my power line was professionally severed. Cameras caught her white Tesla nearby. Police shrugged. Hard to prove. I filed reports anyway. Her disbarment in Connecticut for real estate fraud surfaced. Serial scammer with federal exposure. I drove to Denver, met top property lawyers at Carmichael and Associates. Janet Carmichael reviewed my files with predatory glee. Bulletproof deed. Let them finish. Current exposure, $42 million. Projected completion, $58 million. I wanted maximum humiliation at grand opening. We agreed on contingency. I'd walk with tens of millions minimum. Desperation peaked. Vivian offered cash settlements that grew laughably inadequate. $250,000, then $300,000 via anonymous LLC for land holding $60 million in buildings. Environmental permits skipped. State halted work fined millions. Attempted bribery, sting recorded. Brick through my window with kerosene smell, Tesla on camera. Arson attempt. She fled. Abandoned car at Denver airport. FBI manhunt launched. Workers began dismantling, thinking project dead. I told Javier, leave it all. Big announcements soon. Grand opening week arrived. I filed suit on courthouse steps, media circus rolling. Aerial photos, Silas's deed, fraudulent surveys displayed. Largest property rights violation in Colorado history. I spoke calmly about Uncle Silas, patience, letting greed destroy itself. Then Vivian's Tesla screeched in. She burst out in handcuffs, arrested at Chicago airport, fleeing to non-extradition country. Live cameras captured her screams. He forged it. This is theft. Agent explained calmly. Building without permission is theft, no matter the investment. Her empire crumbled. Tenants pulled leases, governor canceled, endorsements vanished. 6 months later, settlement. $87 million. Property value, costs, punitives, interest. Vivian got 25 years federal for racketeering, arson, conspiracy, fraud. I honored Sarah with a $20 million cancer research endowment at University of Colorado. The rest funded the Pine Ridge Valley Conservation Trust, 47 acres preserved as park and nature preserve. No development, no HOAs. The shopping center became community spaces, senior center, library, youth rec, small business incubator. Javier became park supervisor. Annual Truth and Transparency Festival marks the anniversary. Barbecue, music, stories of resisting corruption. Former HOA residents formed a Democratic council. The legislature passed the Alexander Wellington Property Rights Act, mandatory independent surveys before major builds. I built a modest cabin on the park edge, adopted a German shepherd named Justice. Morning coffee now overlooks trails where parking lots were planned. Children play on equipment funded by the woman who tried to evict me. A widow in Grand Junction called for advice. Her bullies backed down fast. Justice breeds more justice. Patience, documentation, and letting bullies dig their own graves. That's the real lesson. The universe gives us exactly what we need, exactly when we need it. Uncle Silas's paranoid deed became the tool that dismantled a criminal empire and healed a community. Evening sunsets paint the valley in colors he never saw, but somehow made possible.